Hello viewers, you are watching International Wild. Kindly subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get notification of the latest uploaded videos. Nigeria's military rulers who seized power last week have accused France of planning an attack on the presidential palace to depose President Mohamed Bazoum. France has condemned the coup but has not announced any intention to intervene militarily. The coup in Niger follows military takeovers in neighboring Mali and Burkina Faso. In the past 2 years they've been accompanied by a wave of anger against the former colonial power and the shift towards Russia to intervene militarily in Niger. France, with the complicity of certain Nigerians, held a meeting at the headquarters of the National Guard of Niger to obtain the necessary political and military authorizations for an attack. Well, that statement came after Chance President met the coup leaders to negotiate a peaceful end to the political crisis. The West African Regional Bloc ECOWAS is demanding the junta reinstate the deposed president in 1 week or face the prospect of military action. The coup leaders have in turn warned their course against any military intervention. The accusation came from the military authorities. The main spokesman of the junta in Niamey, he alleged that there was a meeting at the seniors brigade involving former ministers, and of course some elements within the army, authorizing the French to take action so as to attack the presidential palace and also target certain military officers in the country. But that's the body language that has been seen in the action and utterances of the coup since day one that has whipped up already existing sentiments, anti-French sentiments in the year, and this one boiled over yesterday on Sunday when we saw thousands of people out on the streets demonstrating against France, asking for Russia to come in, and also some of them even broke away from the larger crowd and attacked the French embassy in Niamey. There are reports of dozens of arrests so far, but 8 prominent members of the Belgium government or cabinet or people are lying to him have been arrested. Among them, the most prominent among them, the Minister of Petroleum Resources and Sauna former President Muhammadu Yusufu, who is the Minister of Petroleum in that country. Mohamed Yusuf appointed the current military leader to head the presidential guard himself and also recommended him to the post-president Mohamed Bazoum to retain him as presidential guard commander. Apart from him there are also ministers of mines, transportation, planning, as well as the Minister of Interior, who was earlier on arrested along with President Mohamed Bazoum. On some top aides are in that cabinet also. On the arrest, of course, arrested today is the president of the governing party, the PNDS, as well as a former minister who is currently a member of parliament in the current the form in the large dispensation before the coup. A French military intervention plan, and clearly the European and France starting to show they want to take action. They say they're going to cut off financial aid to Niger. The United States also threatening to withdraw funding if deposed President Mohamed Bazoum is not reinstated. Nearly 3.6 million people in Nigeria are at risk of hunger. More than 1 million children are facing malnutrition. The nation receives close to $2 billion a year in official development assistance. The UN says it's one of the least developed countries in the world. Last year, the EU and France gave nearly $300 million in aid. The money supports programs in emergency food assistance and health. They said it's going to be disastrous for the people because Niger is a country that relies heavily on its partnership with the international community that provide much support, especially when it comes to the second financial year. We secure a budget for this time with financial aid from the European Union, the World Bank, and the IMF in particular, along with the French Development Agency. Turning once back on this aid is suicide. Some of the French Foreign Ministry has said that it has no other objective than the security of his citizens in Niger. It says our priority is the safety of our nationals and our property, which cannot be the object of violence. The French government has said that his embassy was on when came under sustained and violent attack, he says, from people who were clearly prepared, and the security forces Indonesia weren't able to contain them, and it says that it didn't use any lethal force in protecting its embassy, despite claims to the country from some senior members of the Nigerian military forces. The European Union's also saying that it will hold responsible all attacks on civilians. It will hold Niger responsible for all attacks on civilians, diplomatic personnel, and embassies. There is a lot of anti-French sentiment in its former West African colonies, and they've now become a bit of a diplomatic ground. With our battleground really on one side we've got the French, the Europeans, and on the other side you've got the Russians, and the Chinese, all vying now for influence in this part of West Africa, and you can see that's one of the reasons why the Europeans, particularly the French, are so interested and concerned about what's happening there at the moment. We understand that President Idris Deby has left Niger already after a meeting a Nigerian leader President Bola Tinubu along with other West African leaders in Abuja ahead of the summit, yes, on Sunday. He took the demands of ECOWAS and of course a proposal to the military rulers in Chad and Niger, and he was able to meet with the military high command, including of course the military ruler, the self-appointed leader of Nigeria now. He met also President Mohamed Bazoum, former President Mohamed Yusuf, and some senior officials of the government there. They didn't say exactly what was inside the proposal and whether or not the authorities in India have accepted them, but we understand that he spent hours discussing this with all parties concerned, and he has left Indonesia at the moment. He is due to brief, and probably by now, as we talk or as we speak, he must be briefing the President of Nigeria, who is the current chairman of the Economic Community of West African States. Now failure to adhere to the demands of ECOWAS. We understand that the ECOWAS heads of states and government have ordered military to be on standby for possible intervention in Asia. The military high commands in all the countries that are going to participate have met and are continue to discuss the modalities of that in case the leaders authorize the use of force there. However, there are signs that things may be throwing a little bit Indonesia at the moment. There are rumors, but they're not confirmed. Possibly in the next few days, probably by weekend, we may see the lifting of closure of borders, but that is not confirmed yet. That's what we're hearing for the moment, but it's not official. Thank you very much.